I've got all sorts of meal prep, inspiration, motivation, a couple recipes to share with you guys in this video. If my pupils look weird, I had them dilated. I had an eye appointment this morning and I did all my morning tasks when I got back, and my eyes are still a little dilated, but I needed to get this filmed so I could sit down and edit it and turn around and try to get it up to you guys either today when you're seeing this, Monday, or Tuesday. So one of those days, hopefully. Spring break is officially over, kiddos are back to doing schoolwork, and friends are gone, and all the things. So my house is a mess. I've got laundry, dishes going, but this meal prep that I'm sharing with you guys, we started our spring break going to the coast. We went to Port O'Connor, which is here in Texas, about a 3-ish hour drive from where we are. And it was a little chilly. It's definitely more of like a fishing town. We went to go out on my parents' boat, got some fishing done, hung out at the house with family, played some games, and just had a nice relaxing few days there. Then we came home to all the chaos. But going there, I had just a few things on my to-do list to meal prep, and I just couldn't pick. Once I started going through some of my favorite and go-tos, I was like, I'm just gonna make them all. So I definitely bit off a little bit more than I could chew, but I do have several meal prep ideas for you guys, whether you are going on vacation soon. I know a lot of people still have their spring break coming up. Some it's early March, some it's later March, and I feel like there's a few school districts around the country that are April, Easter week or something like that. You guys will have to let me know when your spring break is, but ours just finished, and this is what I made for us to eat while we were out of town. So let's just get right into it. We are starting out with making some peanut butter cookies, and if you guys can hear the laundry in the background, I could close the door, but Polly likes to walk back and forth, so it is what it is, real life. Right before vacation, do you guys do all the laundry, all the cleaning in the house, especially if you have pets and somebody's coming to your house? I feel like my house needs to be spotless. So I'm multitasking to the fullest today, but taking a little break to get some meal prep done. Most is gonna be done tomorrow because that's when I'm gonna be picking up groceries, but I did have everything I need for these peanut butter cookies. So I'm going to be using some brown sugar, baking soda, regular sugar, flour, vanilla, butter, egg, and then normally I use smooth peanut butter, but Mark finished that off last night. If you guys are new, my husband likes to have a scoop of peanut butter every night. It's just his thing. So he finished off the smooth. So I'm gonna try crunchy. I feel like it'll still be delicious. It's still peanut butter, just a little crunch in it. So that's what we are going to use. I've got my KitchenAid out. I'll go over measurements as we get everything all mixed up. And my oven is preheating to 350 degrees. Okay, half a cup of sugar, half a cup of brown sugar, and 1 stick of melted butter. All 3 of these going into my mixing bowl. And I'm just gonna stir that up until it's nice and creamy. Okay, adding in about half a cup of the peanut butter, 1 egg, and about half a teaspoon of vanilla. And we're gonna mix these together. Now we're adding in 1.5 cups of flour, as well as 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And that's all the ingredients. We're gonna finish mixing these together. Okay, I'm gonna spray my pan and just use my little cookie scooper. I thought about doubling this batch, but we'll see. We'll see how many this makes. I mean, I'm making so many things, I don't need a ton of everything, but I do want enough of these to leave here and take. And there's gonna be about 12 of us, I believe, total on this little vacation together. Next, I'm taking the bottom of a small glass and I put it in my sugar here, and I'm just flattening out the cookies. And it looks like I have enough dough to make another tray, so I don't think I'm going to double this recipe. But I'll let you know the final count, how many I get once I get the second tray made. So this is going in my 350 degree oven for 10 minutes. Both batches done. You can tell they both cooked for different times because I got busy doing something, and these ones cooked for closer to 13 minutes than 10 minutes, but I do think like the 11-minute mark is probably the sweet spot. These ones are really good, but as far as like for packing them, I feel like they would fall apart. They're very, very soft, but they're super delicious. So there were, like this one's mine, and there were 3 more. So I got 35 total. These ones are gonna be more of like a crunchy. So it also just depends on what kind of cookie you like. But these ones I just pulled out, so I have to let them cool off. These ones have been out for almost 13 minutes. So peanut butter cookies, done. Okay, so I just have to say that Bryce and I both split one of the harder ones. We wanted to give it a try, and he said he actually likes those ones better. So I packaged them up. I left 3 of each. This is gonna be like the little goodie box for the person who's staying here. So I left some in there. Next up, I was invited to a Pampered Chef like online Facebook party, and I ordered a few things. And one of them, this caught my eye, and I specifically got it to make for our trip. So it's caramel latte bread, yum. I have the ovens already preheated because it's still 350, and I'm just following package directions. Says it makes 1 loaf. So I'm adding in this entire package into my bowl, 2 eggs, half a cup of water, and then half a cup of, it says vegetable oil. I have olive oil, so that's what I'm using. But if you guys watched my last meal prep, I'm not using Robust. So this will be just fine. And I have used this in baking, and it's just fine. So I got the one that says extra light taste. So we're gonna go ahead and mix all of these ingredients up in my bowl. Oh man, this smells so good. I can't decide if this is just gonna be like a treat, or I'm thinking when I make bread, even those like banana muffins, the kids like those for breakfast. So I'm thinking this is gonna be good with a cup of coffee, sitting out on the deck, staring at the water, the sun rising over the water in the morning. That's what I get when I smell this. So I have high hopes for this. It's got a very strong like caramel latte smell. So it just said to mix it with a spoon. That's what I'm doing. And then I pulled both of them out just in case, because sometimes it says just 1, but I might get 2 out of it, never know. But I've got my little silicone bread molds. I'm gonna spray them. I'm gonna stir this just a little bit longer because it's got a couple clumps in here. Then I'm gonna get it in the oven. All right, let's get this in here. Yeah, it's just gonna make 1. I almost got 2 of these mixes, but I don't need all that. That's why some of these things, I'm like, you know what? I need to make these when I'm getting together with somebody else. Like when we're going on a trip with family, or when I'm gonna have people over. So I'm really, really utilizing this trip to prep a lot of stuff that we just really enjoy, but it feeds more of a crowd. All right, so this one takes a little longer, not just 10 minutes. Package says 45 to 55 minutes. So I'm going to put it in for 50, but I'll keep an eye on the top and see how that's baking up. Okay, I thought that was it that I could prep today before I go to the grocery store, but I was going over my list and I realized I had rotisserie chicken on my list to buy because I'm going to make my like all-time favorite chicken salad to take as a lunch option for us. And I was like, wait a minute, I still have some of the rotisserie seasoned chicken in my freezer. So I am just gonna go ahead, and this is something that I can easily meal prep. I'm gonna get it in my crock pot, get it cooking, and then I'll shred it up. And then tomorrow, once I pick up the other ingredients that I want for it, I can mix it all together then. So awesome. I'm glad that I decided to go over that instead of while I was at the store, because I wouldn't have had time tomorrow. I might have, but to get this cooking in the crock pot. So awesome. Just gonna throw this in. I think I have 4. Yeah, I have 4 left, which is fine. I'm not like making enough for the entire time we're there, just for one lunch for us. So I'm gonna go ahead and just, like I said, get it in the crock pot. And that way that's 1 part less, and I don't have to worry about like peeling apart a rotisserie chicken This way is a lot easier. Chicken going, I put it on high for 4 hours. That finished off this bag. That's one more thing out of my freezer, yay. And I'll come back when it's all done and get it shredded up. Okay, so I thought this smelled good when I was mixing it up. It smells phenomenal, so good. I'm gonna have to, as soon as this cools, I'm gonna have to wrap it and just get it out of sight because I'm gonna have a hard time not trying this tomorrow. But done. I also, from Pampered Chef, normally I use toothpicks, but I got this little like cake and baked goods tester, and it also has like a scraping in so you can scrape bread out if you need to. Really cool. And now I don't have to worry about if I have toothpicks on hand or not. So worked great. I'm gonna let this cool off and then, like I said, get it all wrapped up. It's actually been a little while. I had to pause, make lunch for the kids, all of that. So this is definitely cool enough. I mean, look, I love silicone. It's a little bit more of a pain. Well, not this, because you're washing a dish anyway, but when you're using them for like cupcakes and muffins, because you have to wash all of it, but it just comes out so beautifully. So I am going to, well, one, I'm gonna cut this in half. That way it's easier for me on this plate. But originally I was just gonna wrap this up, but it's gonna be, because we're transporting food, I'm trying to figure out the easiest way to transport it. So, and we're going several hours away. So we're gonna be in the car for a little while. So I opted to slice it, and that way I can leave some here. So I'm gonna go ahead and slice it up. Oh, this is really soft. This is just asking for me to eat some though. Maybe that's really why I decided to cut it, so I could eat some. I mean, I'm doing the work, right? I mean, it was a mix, but still. Okay, yeah, this is really soft. So we're gonna put it in here with the cookies. Oh, it's still pretty warm in the middle. Yum. And then whatever I can fit in here, I'll put in here, and I'll leave a few slices. Oh, look, see? I'll eat these 2 pieces. My camera died, but I got the bread in here. That's gonna be great. I'm gonna leave it open just a little bit since it's still warm. You can see kind of the moisture on here. I don't want it to get soggy or get the cookie soggy. So I'm gonna leave that open for a little bit, and then I guess I'm leaving 3 of everything. So I've got 3 slices in there. Chicken is still cooking. It still has a few hours left on it, but since I was going through the recipes and was like, okay, is there anything else that I can like prep partly, and that, you know, just makes it easier for me tomorrow, and I have 2 more things that I can tackle today instead of tomorrow. I'm just putting off cleaning is what I'm doing, but let's get into the next one. So we are back over here, and next up is brownies. So I'm making a couple different cookie recipes. The other one we'll have to wait until tomorrow because I don't have one key ingredient for those cookies. But my grandfather is gonna be with us, and he's like a sweet treat eater. He likes cookies, various cookies. So I'm making cookies with him in mind, but the kids really love brownies. So I had all the ingredients to make regular brownies, but I was going through my cookbook, and this is the one that Kira, Nicole, and I made together years ago. So it's on my Amazon, in my Amazon list. That's always in the description box, but I'll try to remember. I just always forget. I'll try to remember to link it separately if you guys want to check it out. But I'm making her brownie recipe, Nicole's. So this is towards the back of the book on page 66. And she has them labeled as best brownies ever. And I want to say I've made them, but I really cannot remember if I have made them, because I feel like I've tried everything out of this cookbook. But if I have made them, it's been so long. So I'm gonna go ahead and make the brownie portion today, and then I'll make the frosting tomorrow because I don't have the M&Ms. So brownies today, and that way they're nice and cool, and I can just slather on the frosting tomorrow, package them up, and we are good to go. So her recipe suggests a 9x9, but because again we're traveling, I'm using this 7x11 because it has a lid, so I can get the brownies in here, get the frosting and the M&Ms and the lid on, and we'll be good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and whip up her brownies. I'll show you guys the ingredients. Not gonna go over specific measurements because it's her recipe, but we've got some butter, some cocoa powder, eggs. We are gonna be using sugar and flour, some vanilla, milk, and brown sugar. So this is what is going inside the brownies, and then we'll make the frosting tomorrow. Batter is mixed up, oven is ready, and you guys, when I look at this batter, hold on, let me spray my dish first. Two things come to mind. First, if you guys watch Kim from the Wads, she's just one of my favorites. I love her personality. She seems so fun and just down to earth. But one thing she says a lot, and it always just goes through my mind whenever I lick a spoon or a beater, is salmonella, I dare you. So I licked the beater from this and I was like, yeah, that's so good. And then the second thing that comes to mind is I have no idea like who originally said this or what, but calories don't count when you're on vacation because this is just so good. I don't think I've ever made Nicole's brownie recipe. I'm gonna have to like use my other hand to scoop out the rest, but then I'll be in the way of the camera. But it tastes really, really good. Or it's just me right now and I'm craving some brownies for some reason, but man, I tell you what, I will be licking, once I scrape all this out, I will be licking this bowl. Well, I'll use a spoon, but I'm gonna be making sure all that batter is used somehow. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of the batter out and bake these up. So you know how I just said calories don't count on vacation? I don't know what got into me. Now that I'm looking at what I have, I mean, tomorrow I have some fresh stuff planned, okay? Today, I just happen to have a lot of baking stuff on hand so I could do the sweet stuff up front. That's just what I'm telling myself. I've got lots of like more fresh, maybe healthier options tomorrow that I'm gonna be meal prepping once I get all those ingredients. Anyway, this is something that I made a little while ago, a couple weeks ago, and we all really loved it, but it was just too much for our family, so I thought it would be great to take as like a breakfast option with some eggs and bacon or something or whatever for everybody, since there's gonna be several of us there. And that's the viral TikTok cinnamon roll recipe. I don't even know if this is like the exact one I had last time, but I'll link this one in the description box. I just searched it and printed it out again. Modern Honey is where I got it from. So I've got everything but cream cheese. So just like the brownies, I'm gonna be doing the frosting tomorrow. So I'm baking these ahead of time. These microwave very well. Like that's what we had to do with ours because we couldn't eat it all in one sitting. So I'm baking it now, and then over the next few mornings, everybody will like get a piece or whatever they want and microwave it, and we will be good to go. So I also changed it up just a little bit because of what I bought. So I originally bought a 4-pack of the cinnamon rolls from Sam's Club, and these are just like the regular size. All of the recipes, like the TikTok one says to use the jumbo ones. These ones work great too. So since I already have these, I'm gonna be using 2 cans of the regular cinnamon rolls. I've got my heavy cream, and then for like the extra brown sugar cinnamon glaze, you need some butter, brown sugar, and then cinnamon. So I'm gonna be doing those steps, setting it up and baking it. And then, like I said, tomorrow with the brownies, we'll be doing the 2 frostings and frosting the brownies and these tomorrow, once I get those last few ingredients that I need. Got my 9x13 pan. I greased it, got my cinnamon rolls out. You are going to keep the icing that comes with it. We're gonna be bulking that up tomorrow. And then I've got a cup of heavy cream, and you just kind of coat the bottom. I think the recipe says like 3/4 to a cup. Last time I used a cup just because I am using a little bit more cinnamon rolls. So we've got that in there. And now I'm going to, with the other 3 ingredients, make the extra like cinnamon glaze that we're gonna put on top. Okay, I melted my butter. Now I'm adding about 2 teaspoons of cinnamon and 1/2 cup of brown sugar. My oven just beeped at 350. I've been baking everything at 350 today. So it is ready, and we're just gonna mix this up and just kind of drizzle it on top of the rolls. There's so much, you really could just take a spoonful and put it on top of each roll, but I'm just gonna keep drizzling until it's all gone. Okay, I'm gonna cover it with foil and bake it for 38 to 40 minutes. Brownies are done. I've got my last load of laundry in, so I can no longer put off cleaning. We've got to get back to cleaning while I'm waiting for the cinnamon rolls to finish up and still the chicken. But I did have to cook these about 5 more minutes longer. That's why you see 2 holes. So when I first took it out, it was still a little gooey on the inside. So I put it in for 5 more minutes and now it's perfect. So I'm gonna let this cool off, get the lid on. Tomorrow we'll frost it. Waiting on those cinnamon rolls to finish baking, and I'm still gonna wait for the chicken and shred that up. But those are the last 2 things that I will be getting done today. Just pull the cinnamon rolls. Oh yeah. Look how big they get with the heavy cream soaked all up in them and that glaze. Oh yum. Okay, so I'm gonna let this cool completely, get the lid on, and that'll go in the fridge until tomorrow. Chicken is done. I've got it in a bowl. So I have it in a bigger bowl right now. I'm just going to put this in the fridge once I'm done shredding it. And then tomorrow we'll come back, mix up all the chicken salad ingredients in here, and then I'll transfer it to a bowl with a lid to take with us on vacation. So let me go ahead and shred this real quick. Actually did not make as much as I thought, but hopefully not everybody is gonna want chicken salad. Well, we're gonna have other lunch options as well, but I wish that made more. I might go ahead and pick up a rotisserie chicken and just add to it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that because that just doesn't, I feel like that would make maybe 3 sandwiches, and most of the kids aren't gonna want one. They're gonna have other things. Pearl probably might want a chicken salad sandwich, and I think most of the adults might want one. So I've talked myself into it. I'm gonna put a crossed off rotisserie chicken. I'm gonna go ahead and get one. But I'm glad I went ahead and used this because one rotisserie chicken might not have been enough either. So we'll see. And leftovers are always delicious. So if we come home with some leftovers, at least I won't have to do much that first week when we get back. All right, guys, it is crunch time. Starting the rest of my meal prep a little later than I wanted. So I've already nixed the other cookies that I was going to make. I feel like I have enough sweet stuff anyway. And then I'm not going to prep the spaghetti sauce like I originally planned, because I do think I was trying to save time like being out of the kitchen. I don't like to be spending a ton of time in the kitchen when I'm on vacation. I'd rather enjoy like time with family and stuff, but that is just something that you can meal prep at home, but like when you're taking it, I feel like it's gonna be better if I make it the morning of like when we're having it for dinner that night. So that is getting nixed completely from this video, but I was going to, the sauce that I'm making is Kira's from our cookbook. I'm making her meat sauce. It's super delicious. Like I said, like going through cookbooks, I am reverting to a lot of my favorites. So all of my favorites are in our first cookbook. So what I'm doing right now to get started, because these take a little bit to soak and get all flavorful, is I'm making my spicy crackers. And this is a recipe that I'd have to like look it up. I know you can find something similar online. I think there's so many different variations. These are the seasonings that I just absolutely love. And I've actually changed the recipe a little bit since I started making it. When our cookbook first came out, we got a lot of flack. I mean, mainly me because it's my recipe, but for having like a recipe for crackers in the cookbook. But unless you guys try this, I would just zip your mouth because it's so good. It's so good. So my original recipe uses like regular saltine crackers, but since then, several years ago, this came out a long time ago. Maybe like a year after this came out, I tried it. I couldn't find saltines for some reason, and I had Cheez-Its and I really wanted to make them, and I used Cheez-Its with the canola oil, red pepper flakes, garlic powder, and ranch seasoning. Those are the 4 things that you'll need. And it was so good. And then I found the mini saltine crackers and I started mixing the Cheez-Its and the saltine crackers. So that is what I'm going to do whenever I find the minis. This is what I like to do now. These are good, but the Cheez-Its and the minis are just more like snack size, probably more dangerous that way because you can just like eat them unaware how much you're consuming, whereas this one, you know, you're putting a big old saltine cracker in your mouth. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and start whipping these crackers up. Like I said, super delicious, but I did get a lot of flack for this recipe. I doubt anybody that was given the flack had actually tried this, because they're very, very good. And it is definitely a go-to for like vacation, or if you're having friends over, like a snacky type food. Super delicious. So I already told you guys the recipe, but we're gonna go ahead and make it. I have like so much stuff out on my counter because we're starting to pack. I'm like prepping as we're packing here. Okay, so I do have measurements in the cookbook, but I don't really measure anymore because it depends on how much I'm using. I kind of just fill a gallon-sized bag with the crackers. So we're gonna do half of this bag first, just to see how much that is. I think I'm gonna be able to fit all of it in there, but we shall see. I've got my last load of laundry in the wash, so I still wanna get it dry before we leave. Yeah, like look at these. They're almost exactly the same size as a Cheez-It. They're just perfect, but I can't find the minis all the time. So sometimes I do make the original size if I'm really like craving the crackers, or we're having to get together and I want to take them. But this is my like go-to mixture now. So if you can find these two items, I would make, yeah, we're just gonna go for it because leftovers are awesome. And if we come home with some stuff from our trip, then like I think I already mentioned it, that's less I have to worry about next time. So that didn't even fill. I mean, you want room to be able to move it around, but I've got that in there. So I'm going to, I think I'm just gonna double. Okay, so I'm not gonna quite double it because 2 cups of oil still seems like a lot for that bag. And it's supposed to be like 2 3/4 or 2 1/2. So I'm just gonna do 2. It's pretty much all I can fit in this bowl anyway. So I've got 2 cups of canola oil. I originally just pulled 1 of the ranch dressing packets, so I'm gonna go grab another one. These are gonna be, oops, so good. I'm excited. I haven't had these in quite a while. Okay, so I've got 2. I'm gonna have to be careful stirring this because I definitely should have a larger bowl, but I already got this one. Okay, now for the red pepper flakes. I think because there's a couple like younger kids that are gonna be snacking on everything, doubling it would be 4. I'm just gonna do 3. Because the Cheez-Its do already have, you know, a pretty salty flavor. So with the ranch seasoning, we're not gonna go as heavy on the red pepper flakes. And then it's just a little bit of garlic powder. So this is just the first one I grabbed out of my drawer. It's half a teaspoon, but I am gonna do 2 teaspoons, so it's gonna be 4 of these for me. But 2 teaspoons is what I'm gonna do for that. Yeah, that looks good. It smells good. Okay, and then I just use a fork. If I had this, because I doubled it, if I had this in a bigger bowl, I would use a whisk, but a fork works just fine. You just have to really see how the ranch kind of clumps, just kind of break through it. There we go. It doesn't take much time at all. Mix it up. I don't want to look for a book or anything to stack you guys on to make you taller, but now let's see if I can do this with you guys seeing what I'm doing. Like I said, like my kitchen is so messy right now. There's stuff everywhere. Okay, so now I'm taking the seasoning and I'm just dumping it in here. You prop it up against my coffee here. And I am gonna scrape out like the red pepper flakes like to stick to the bottom. Oh no, you've got to get in there. Okay. And then I'm not gonna get the air out because I need that space to mix it around. But now you just kind of mix it around. And it really takes however long. I mean, it's not gonna be wet. So it takes me about, I tried timing it takes about 2 hours. So, that's a lot of seasoning. I probably didn't need to half it. I should have just done like 1 1/2. but they're gonna be delicious. I'm glad I did not put as much red pepper flakes in there because that's definitely enough. So I'm gonna give it a good shake the first time just to make sure it's all up in there. And then I'm gonna leave it sitting like this for 30 minutes. Then I'm gonna flop it to the other side for 30 minutes. Then I'm gonna sit it up for 30 minutes. And then I'll probably like do it on its side. And if I have enough time, I'll do it on its other side. That would be like 2.5 hours, but just however much time you have. These are great if you make these the day before. So anyway, I'm gonna set my timer, let these sit and do their thing while I start on the salsas. I'm making 2 different salsas to take with us. First up is Cowboy caviar. This is something that I absolutely love, but we don't like reach for this recipe that often. I do enjoy it. So I definitely knew I wanted to make it. Also making our salsa recipe, which we actually just made this week because Mark was craving it. So we're gonna make it again to take with us. But this one's really good. So it's got black beans, black-eyed peas, sweet corn, a red and a green bell pepper, 3 Roma tomatoes. I kind of measured it out about 1 pound. I used to be able to buy these in a bag, and that's why in the original recipe it says like 1 pound of Roma tomatoes. I haven't found tomatoes in a bag or Roma tomatoes in a long time. So I kind of just measured them out, ended up being 2 normal and 1 massive one to make about 1 pound. Some white wine vinegar, canola oil, chili powder, salt, a red onion, some cilantro, which obviously if this tastes like soap to you, one, I'm so sorry because it is delicious. You can leave it out. So you can just leave that out. And then I need to pull it over here, but I'm also going to use some sugar, a little bit of sugar. So I'm just gonna dice everything up, get my seasonings in, drain, rinse, get the cans in there, and this is what it's gonna look like. This is also in the cookbook, page 34. Super yummy. Okay, don't mind my mess. I transitioned it to a bigger bowl, but I want to take it in this one. So I'm gonna have to leave a little bit. I just spilled some more. I'm gonna leave a little container here for our house guest. And that way they can, and oh, you know what? I'm gonna leave it, but I didn't buy any extra Fritos. Oh, snapperoonie. I might run to the store real quick or send Mark, which if you hear the vacuum, he's cleaning bathrooms for me. Yay! So, okay. This is so good. I just had a taste. You know, you gotta taste your stuff. Make sure it's good if you're, you know, feeding it to other people. So yummy. I definitely missed this one. Need to make it more often. It's definitely quicker to make this than the fresh salsa recipe that I'm gonna be making in a little bit. So yum, super delicious, like I said. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some in a little container. And that way this one's a little less full so I can put the top on. Definitely, it's good right now, but I do prefer it chilled a little bit. So I recommend chilling it for at least an hour in the fridge before your get together or, you know, before you serve it. Dang it, you guys. Okay, so I was moving on to make the frosting for the brownies, and then I still have to do the frosting for the cinnamon rolls. And I have chocolate chips. I bought the mini M&Ms. I put that on my list, but I used the rest of the heavy cream yesterday. And originally I thought I had enough for both recipes, so I didn't have it on my grocery list and I didn't add it to my grocery list. So we're just having the plain brownies. That's okay. I can save these. These will go in the pantry. We'll use those another time, but I am gonna go ahead. I mean, that's less that I have to make today, which is awesome, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut these, and that way I can leave a few here, because it's just family. They're not gonna care that a few are missing. I'm gonna leave a few here. So at least the brownies are done, and then they're already cut, so they're easy for people just to take out. So, okay, well, at least that's one thing I can check off my list. Should I do them in thirds or halves? I'll do them in halves. And once I get this all set up, oh yeah, that's coming off nicely. Okay, so check the brownies off my list. Now we're gonna move on to the frosting for the cinnamon rolls. Okay, I do have everything for this frosting. So I've got 3 ounces of cream cheese, 1/3 cup of powdered sugar. And then I'm also going to scoop out the icing that came with the cinnamon rolls. So I'm gonna get both of these containers in here. Okay, then I'm just gonna use my hand mixer and mix this up. I'm gonna add a splash of milk just so it's not too thick. And now I'm just gonna pour the icing on top and then I'll spread it out as even as I can make it. And we can just scoop these out and either eat them cold. I like them cold. Or everybody can like heat up their own if they want to over the next several days. Okay, these are done. And next up, I'm gonna start on the pasta salad. I'm adding some meat to it though, just because this is gonna be another lunch option. So I've got my water, I just started it. So I'm gonna wait for that to come to a boil. Cook my pasta, which I like to use the bow tie. I'm going to cut up some tomatoes and cucumbers. Black olives I don't cut up. A little bit of green onion, that way that's done. I'm gonna prep it while the pasta's cooking. And then as far as the sauce, I'm not gonna be able to make the sauce until I get there, so you guys won't see that part. But that's because H-E-B no longer sells what I like to use. We have to order online, and I did not know that. I went to H-E-B and I was like, I can't find it. And they told me they didn't carry it anymore, but my mom does have the seasoning packet that we like to use, the Knorr. It's like a dill salad mix. So she's bringing it and I'll do the sauce there. So I've got that going. And then what I'm using for, oh, and I did buy a rotisserie chicken and Mark got that ready for me. So I'll be doing that next, but I'm gonna be using this sausage. We recently went to a home and garden show and this was very expensive. I should have asked before I said I want that one, because he was all like, you buy one, you get one free. So I think I got like 3 or 4 different kinds of this, but it is so good. Like he was giving out samples left and right and it's really, really good. But this one, it's 5-star pickles and sausages. I think they're out of, yeah, they're out of Ohio. So I'm going to, it's already cooked. I'm gonna chop this up into like little bite-sized pieces and add that to the pasta salad as well. That way it's just a little bit like bulkier for a lunch option. And just to give you a look at behind the scenes when you're prepping for a vacation with multiple people and trying to meal prep, I don't know what got into me meal prepping. I am regretting that at this time right now. But I know we're gonna have some good food. So this is why I'm like being quick and I'm kind of just showing you the before and after. Sorry, not a whole lot of like me chopping because I just don't have room. So I'm over here right now because I've got all the stuff for the chicken salad pulled out over there. My sink is full of dishes. I've got to get that going on. We've got stuff starting to pull out over there to pack, and I still have to make the salsa also. So we're down to just the 3 things though, so that's nice. I've got salsa, finish up the chicken salad, and this pasta salad. So let's go ahead and get some chopping done. I'm gonna chop up the cucumber, the green onions, and the sausage, get that in this bowl. I love this bowl, it's from IKEA. It just works fantastic. And then I'm gonna chop up the tomatoes also, but then this stuff I'm just draining. Quartered artichoke hearts, small olives, that's why I don't have to chop them off because they're itty bitty. And then I don't measure this. I don't even know, I'd have to look at my recipe. I don't know if I said like a certain amount. I kind of just eyeball it. I just grind it all over there, mix it together and see how it looks. So that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, I've got everything chopped up here. I'm adding in my can of artichokes and black olives. I'm gonna steal a black olive though because I love them. Okay, I got my pasta in here. The girls are unloading the dishwasher for me because they are ready to go. And I'm like, well, this is what I have on my list to do. So if you wanna help me out, you can help me out. Okay. Oh, you can just leave that on the counter because I have to put that up in a different cabinet. Okay, and now I'm just going to get the herb grinder on here. And like I said, I don't measure. I just kind of go around a couple times and I stir it up. And if it looks like everything's coated nicely, then I call it a day. So that'll be it for this pasta salad. Oh, it looks so good. I'm excited to eat it with the sausage. I've never added sausage in this pasta, like this particular recipe before. And then, like I said, it does have a light dressing, but I won't be adding that until we get to the lake, so you won't see that, but it is in the cookbook, in the recipe in the cookbook, so that is linked in the description box. All right, so I'm just gonna finish up this pasta salad and then move on to the salsa and the chicken salad. That looks so good. Okay, we are moving on to the chicken salad, and I did double it, so I'm going to double everything that's in my recipe, which is, oh, this salad is so good. Kira was so scared to try it for the longest time, and once she did, she's like, okay, that's good. So I've got my chicken here. I use green and red grapes. You can use whatever you want, but I'll do a mixture of both of them. I've got some celery, sliced almonds, parsley, fresh dill. This makes such a difference. Oh, I love dill. I'm gonna use the juice of a lemon. I've got 4 green onions here, salt and pepper to taste. I do that last. And then I'm also going to be using mayonnaise and Dijon mustard. And I'm just gonna like mix it all together. So I've got this big bowl, and then I'll definitely downsize and put it in a smaller container to take with me, hopefully, because I realize I miscounted. I'm making too many things. I don't have enough bigger bowls with lids, so I might have to put this into 2 containers, we'll see, to take with me. But we'll make it work. So, okay, I've got the chicken in here. I'm gonna start doing my chopping of everything and then mixing the sauce up. Hey guys, I cannot wait to eat this weekend. I'm just excited about all this food I'm making. Okay, I wanted to share, because it's been a while, these herb scissors. Mark doesn't like them. He likes to just chop things with a knife, but I love these because I just take whatever herbs I'm chopping, hold them over the bowl where they're going, and I just boom, boom, boom. Super easy. So I'm gonna do all of this dill because I love dill, and I really feel like it just adds a lot to this chicken salad. So I'm just gonna do my thing, chop up this dill. Oh, it smells delicious. Doesn't it?
Delicious?
Delicious, oh my gosh. So here's all the dry-ish ingredients. Just have to make the sauce. Dang, that's a lot of chicken salad. I hope everybody wants chicken salad, because I got a lot. Okay, that looks like a good ratio of almonds and grapes and celery and all the fresh herbs. That looks good. Time to mix in the sauce. And then chicken salad will be done. And this is also better if you let it chill in the fridge for a good hour. Why, yes, I do have my chicken salad in a produce keeper because I did miscount. I thought I did. So I don't have enough bowls, but this will work just great. Better than having the salsa in here. I feel like the salsa might leak. So we've got the chicken salad in there. I also kept a small amount out for our house/pet sitter. So, all right, done with the chicken salad. Now, last but not least, let me get all the salsa stuff out. Okay, got everything out for the salsa, and we are now gonna be maybe 2 hours behind when we originally planned on leaving. So I've shared this salsa several times. It's tomatoes, bell pepper, green onions, jalapenos, cilantro, and then canola oil, just a tad. It really just depends on how juicy your tomatoes are. I am going to seed 3 of them and then just dice those 3 up normally. Chili powder, garlic salt, salt and pepper, and then oregano. And I'm just gonna dice everything up. I got my cookbook wet, but there's so many stains and stuff in my book. I wouldn't need it if my memory is better, but even though I've made this a ton of times, I still have to look at it and make sure I'm not forgetting anything. So, all right, I'm gonna do a quick mix this together. So here's my empty bowl. Okay, finally, salsa's done. This was a team effort. I did some, Mark did some. He says it's a little salty this time, but it's still gonna be delicious. We're rushing now. So I am done with my meal prep for today and yesterday. We are back home, and we ended up not having spaghetti for dinner one night. I was going to originally prep this sauce here at the house. Glad I didn't, although we probably would have just had it if we went. But glad I didn't, because now I get to prep it and have it here at the house, here at home, after our trip. So we just had so much food, which is always the case. We always, you know, overpack, but I'd rather overpack than underpack. But we had so much food that we opted to, the last night that we were there, we had leftovers, like just random lunch and dinner and breakfast stuff for dinner, just to help clear some of that out before we came back home. So I got to bring all of this back, and we are having it for dinner tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead and prep this spaghetti sauce. And I say prep because one, the longer you can let it simmer, the better. And two, it makes way more than what you need for just one package of spaghetti or one package of whatever type of pasta or noodle or whatever you're using this for. So I'll be able to put some of it in some gallon baggies for the freezer, and I have some spaghetti sauce for future meals. The recipe that I am using is Kira's from our cookbook. Like I already mentioned, I, you know, got a lot of inspo from this book this time because it's just been a while, and these are like my go-to, my favorite recipes. That's why they're in the book. A lot of like Nicole and Kira's, they were their like go-to favorite family recipes when we put this book together. So a lot of good stuff in here. I'm gonna go ahead, I've got all the ingredients out except for the sugar because that's over there. So I'm just gonna grab the sugar when I need it. I don't like to move those glass jars around just because accidents happen. I've got kids, pets, all the things running around. I am not home by myself. So I'm just gonna get this all prepped in my pot here and let it simmer. It's a little bit after lunchtime, so I think it'll be nice and delicious by the time we are ready for dinner tonight. But yeah, I'll show you guys how much it makes, what my pot looks like, and then after dinner, like later tonight, how many like extra bags I have. Hopefully we don't go too like ham on it, and I do have plenty of extras. You know, sometimes we can eat some spaghetti in this house. So I'll show you guys first. I'll definitely show you guys how much extra we have. Okay, so we ended with the spaghetti sauce here at the house, and I actually have nothing to show you guys. So that was more like, it was a meal prep because it lasted us 3 meals, but I had to change around my schedule. So originally we had the spaghetti once. I made that sauce. I was going to freeze the rest and have, you know, 2-ish more servings of it, but we ended up having spaghetti one more time, that's this same past week, because kiddos changed minds on who was going where. We had more kids in the house, and spaghetti is something super easy to serve when you got a house full of kids because everybody will eat it. Not everybody likes a sauce, but just pasta is something super easy to make in bulk, and people can kind of do what they want, top it how they want. So we had the spaghetti sauce serving number 2 with that, and then I could have froze 1 serving, but we had a little bit of pasta left over, so we ate that as leftovers. So we've had our fill of pasta this past week, definitely more than I originally planned, but that's okay. That pasta sauce recipe is Kira's, and it is absolutely delicious. I love it, but I don't have any in my freezer to look forward to having another meal because we had it 3 times. So it did make enough for our family of 5 here in the house to have it 3 times, and actually it served more than that because we had 2 extra kids over one night, another kid over another night. It's just been a crazy week. So I hope you guys enjoyed this meal prep. If you did, give this video a big thumbs up. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.